It's almost time to say goodbye. A journey that started around 8 years back in 2016 when I walked into Mumbai Toastmasters for a humorous speech contest. 8 years back, it wasn't a dream that I saw, but life happened. A hesitant XCOM officer at MTM, I moved on to become an active member of the District 98. A year later, I was appointed as the area director in Division B under the then Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Sapna Ori. And again, I thought it's time for a break. I do not want to be in leadership in Toastmasters, but Ronak and Sapna nudged. I ran for elections and I lost. This was in Pune in 2019. And I think that that's it. I think that was a signal for me to possibly end my leadership journey. I wish I knew my destiny at that point in time. In 2020, I got elected as the Division S Director, as the first Division Director for that division that year. And that year, I was lucky to be working alongside Aaron and Ankit as my co-division directors in Mumbai, as we believe in something called One Mumbai. That online era was very important for me because for someone who lives alone in the city of Mumbai, Toastmasters came to my rescue during the years of COVID. For the 6 months when I was locked in my house, attending Toastmasters meeting was my only solace during the entire period. And then the next year, again, I thought it was time for a break when the board of directors of Toastmasters decided to reform District 98. And I saw myself again running for elections for club board director. And then program quality director, and then finally right now serving as the district director of District 98 in its centennial year of Toastmasters. It's both an honor and privilege. And to be very honest, I started thinking of this moment a year back when I gave my installation speech wearing the same kurta and this shawl. A symbol of the fact that everything is temporary. Everything else that you do in between doesn't count at times. You're going to end with where you started off from. Thank you for electing me and giving me an opportunity to serve you. And sorry if during the process we haven't been good enough. I remember a year back when I was serving as a PQD, I was a little angsty at times. And Sapna said that, जब तू DD बनेगा तब सब समझेगा. It's typically what most of us parents tell our children as well, right? कि तुम जब माँ या बाप बनोगे तब तुम समझोगे हमारा दर्द क्या है. And I actually realized that this year. And it was a realization that when I was possibly a member or another officer, I could have been nicer to the past district directors. I could have been nicer to Venkata, Nitesh, and Sapna when they were serving as the DD because what they go through is only they know. I could have made their lives easier because life this year wasn't easy. You know, they say it's service leadership and we provide a positive learning environment, but this year wasn't that easy for me, both personally professionally, and in Toastmasters. I remember the elections happened on the 7th of May, and I was super excited for the year ahead. I didn't, Ankit, know for a fact when I was a division director, I had a list of 50 things I want to achieve as a division director. And I made a similar long list in the months of May and June. By the time 13th of June happened, I still didn't have the team in place. I still didn't have the plans in place. And my anxiety levels started increasing. And that's the day I had quit my job as well. And that's the day for the first time I almost fainted on my way back home. But I knew how to pick up myself, and I did. And by the time the term started on 1st of July, we were all excited for what lay in store for all of us. But then a few months later, the next month I went for the international convention. Again, the energy levels were high, seeing everyone on stage, how beautiful this community is. And I was there for almost a month. When I came back in September end, life had other plans for me. That's the week one of my very close friends lost her mother. That's the week my dad was diagnosed with cancer. And that's the week I had to find a new team member for myself. But still, I had to keep going. I still had to keep my head high. And so in October, we were back in action. During the years, I learned to deal with a lot of trolls, a lot of people to have comments, and still not reacting to them. You know, they say empathy is the buzzword today. But I say empathy is not saying that take care. Empathy is saying that stay wherever you are, I'm coming for you. 2 years back, a friend of mine was going through a personal tragedy. I know I left office and I was there for him. And I was there with him for the next 30 days, every day, battling with my anxiety, but just because I knew he wanted me to be there with him. You need to be an empathetic human because as a leader, you're responsible for the entire organization, entire community, and not just one individual. Just because we don't share emotions, we still leaders feel through and go through it. And no matter how hard you try, something will go wrong at some point in time. As district director, we don't have the liberty to make mistakes. And I kept beating myself for it for a very long time. In the last 8 years, I think I've made a lot of friends in Toastmasters, but I've also lost many of them in the journey. I remember when I was trying to build my team for this year, for the fact that most of the team people who have worked with me know that I plan in advance. I like to know what's happening in the next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So almost 6 months in advance, I was trying to get my team together. But things were not going as planned. So that's when I called up Sunita to be part of my team. And within a minute, she agreed to be part of it. No questions asked, nothing. In last week of September, when I asked Sanjay to step in as a DPRM for a non-credit role, he again stepped in, no questions asked. You know, the titles are temporary, but these friendships, this relationship are what's going to stay with me. It's been a long, long year. I know it's just been 11 months, and typically every year is 12 months, but the kind of experience, the journey we had this year wasn't something that I had planned for. When I look back for the month of December, Jan, if you see the dashboards, things were not looking very rosy for District 98. And all of you are wondering, what is the new me about doing? What are we doing corporate conclaves? But if you see the dashboard today, it tells you that we had planned for this 5 months in advance. That's District 98 for you. That's what we perform as a team. Yes, the vision this year was beyond the dashboard. I know we have marketed that really, really well, but it wasn't just a tagline or a hashtag for me. People who have known me for the last 5 years know this was my hashtag since the time I was the division director for all my campaign communications. Because 2 years down the line, you will not remember me as a Smedley distinguished district director. You'll remember me as Hardik. And I want that to stay with me. A lot of times, messages on different groups, name callings, it made me think that, am I good enough? Do I deserve this? Do I deserve to be standing in front of you? And it's not that I haven't laughed, I haven't cried. But I had to hide those from my teams because they had to keep going, and for that, I had to keep going. I had one mantra this year that disagree, but do not be disrespectful to anyone. And yes, I wasn't afraid to take some tough decisions. It may not have gone down well with people, but it wasn't a choice that I made for myself. You don't wake up a morning that you want to change something. A lot goes behind that. Members of my deck, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for being patient with me. And I'm sorry, I know push you a lot beyond your comfort zones, but I'm sure some of you are already celebrating it. Some of you will in the next 30 days. I'm hoping that this year has changed you for a little better. To be very honest, I wouldn't have survived this year without my top 7. A big round of applause for my PQD Sunita, Club Growth Director Joydeep, DPRM Sanjay, DAM Ronak, DFM Venkat, and IPDD Sapna. Through all the ups and downs, they stood with me like a rock. They said they believed in me. Maybe they didn't agree with all decisions, but they stood with me, and that is how we functioned this year. We were one family, is what we called our WhatsApp group as well. Because I genuinely believed in that. Members, thank you for all your love and affection throughout the year. At different events that I've had a chance to meet you, responding to emails, WhatsApp messages. I think those were the messages. I have actually screenshots of all of them because on days when things were not looking right for me, those messages helped me sail through. When things were not very good at home, things were not good in my personal life, I would be lying if I said that I wasn't thinking of stepping out. But I knew that I have been here for 5 years, and I know there's a team that's going to be back with me, whatever I need to do. So when I took a mini break in October to December, not being very active, and I came back in Jan, everyone was back in full force to help me. So thank you so much for doing that for me. Thank you, Toastmasters. You have been a wonderful people for me, for helping me improve over the last 8 years. We have not come this far just to come this far. To the elected officers and the future of members of District 98 and the district committee. Remember that when you get some comments and feedback, remember they all want you to succeed. The success of the district lies in every member succeeding, every officer succeeding, and that is what we wanted to achieve this year. And we tried our best. But I think when the DCM happened yesterday, the best was not good enough. Maybe we missed some point. Maybe we didn't connect correctly with members. Maybe beyond the dashboard wasn't beyond enough. I don't know. I think the last 52 weekends, I think I've spent at least 45 plus weekends in Toastmasters. TLTP's division conferences, planning for Eloquence, or attending my home club meetings. I think in July we'll start getting back the weekends, hopefully. I also want to thank the mentors and friends outside of District 98 who have been cheering for me and been so supportive during the entire year. On days when I was not sure what should I do next, a quick 5-minute call will be enough to put me in the right direction. At the end of it, I'm signing off with the same thing that I was installed in. I'm signing off happy that I got a chance to serve all of you. Because leadership titles are temporary. Friendships, relationships is what I'm going to take back with me. Thank you, D98, for being so patient with me.
Group hug. Come on, everybody, let's go. Come on.
Yes.
Yes. Come on, come on.
Group hug.
Let's go make heart.
You did it. You did it. You did it.
And you are going to do it.
Yes. You don't validate. You don't need validation. चलो,